And welcome back. Today we are picking up a topic and activity we haven't done in a good amount of time on the show. We're going to be drafting. I'm Levi.
I'm Cav.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the Thought Vessel. Welcome to the show. On our previous episode, we talked about the egregious amount of different legendary creatures that are in this Marvel superhero set. So we thought it'd be fun to do a draft of our favorite legendary creatures from the set. We're doing this a little bit different than we have before. Instead of 4 rounds, we're going to be doing 5. The goal is by the end of the draft to have a legendary creature as your commander for every single bracket, brackets 1 through 5. We're, of course, doing a snake draft, which means the first person who has the first pick will have the last pick in the next round and vice versa. Order is going to start out with Calf, then it'll go to myself, then Joe, and then Joe, myself, then Calf. Back and forth until we each have 5 individual commanders.
And if you haven't seen the last episode, be not afraid of the rabbit.
Don't be afraid.
I understand. The biblically accurate caffeine rabbit is not going to hurt you.
Unless you ask me nicely.
It will not hurt you, but be aware, if you run non-deterministic storm lines in bracket 2, when you go home and you go to bed, Calf will be underneath your bed.
Is that a storm brewing I see?
There's definitely something brewing. Probably something with caffeine.
But
something to put in my bottomless mug. Let's go.
As we were saying, we're going to go ahead and start off here. Calf, you have the first pick and you are on the clock.
Yippee. I'm betting we're going to probably all do this, so I'm going to get a head start. My first pick is going to be for bracket 5. We're going to go with Super Scroll.
Really?
Interesting.
I always thought that the King Kenrith mid-range package was very, not overused, but just boring. And then I played some of it in that bracket. I was like, okay, this is fine. And then Super Scroll is just a different variant on that same package. Let's send it.
Not what I thought would be the first pick, not gonna lie.
Kenrith with extra steps for sure. I was anticipating picking between 2 different commanders here. Definitely surprised to see both my options on the board here, but I do like Super Scroll. For a Pride event, it'd be kind of fun to do Kenrith and Super Scroll with a bunch of just activated ability reducers and just have a menu of just random stuff you can do at any given time to defend yourself or buff creatures or anything like that.
That would be a fantastic time. I might actually try and do that.
The main difference is a lot of Super Scroll's buff is just him individually. It's still definitely a neat card, and I'm surprised to see its price as low as it is starting out. I'm on the clock next. I was picking between 2. There's a good chance that Joe is just going to take the one that I don't pick. I'm going to grab Bruce Banner / Incredible Hulk as my bracket 5.
I'm shocked. That was going to be my pick. Oh, no.
Bruce Banner with Incredible Hulk. It's a reach trample. Whenever it is dealt damage, put a ++ counter on him. If it was attacking, you untap him, and there's an additional combat phase after this phase. You play this with Caltrops, and you just have infinite combats because the 1 damage you're receiving is just getting replaced by that +1 counter. Attack everyone until they're dead. Very aggressive deck. You have the green, blue, and red to work from. Far and away, one of the more, if not the most popular commander that's been brewed to this point. Got a lot of potential.
Having reach trample and just getting big, really disgusting.
It wasn't even just big. It's infinite.
Joe, you're on the clock.
Given the fact that I already figured I was going last, I was not going to necessarily get the good CDH picks. I did, in fact, see one card that I do think has potential as a CDH commander, and that's Mr. Fantastic, one of the faces from the precon. For 2 and a blue, 2 for Vigilance Reach, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast a non-creature spell this turn, draw a card. Also has the ability of black, green, white, blue, tap, copy, target, triggered ability you control twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. That has a lot of potential, and especially because you're in 4 colors. Just think of every single non-creature spell in CDH. You got a good way to at least keep more card advantage, copying that trigger so you get even more advantage, as well as just a lot of potential lines to go for a win.
And he's got my favorite stat line. A 2/4 for 3 is diamonds to me. I love that stat line.
It's not going to get picked off by the Orcish Bowmasters. It's going to be able to block your Timnas and things when they go to combat. It's got reach, so you could potentially even block a Crom or stuff like that. It's definitely got some legs to it. I could see that being a good thing. What do you have for your second pick?
For my second pick, I'm going to go with bracket 4. King T'Challa, with the backside being Black Panther Hope Enduring, taking an Azorius pick from Levi. The front side is 1 white-blue. It's a 3/2 with flash. Whenever a player draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. Also has the activated ability for 4 white-blue to turn it into Black Panther Hope Enduring. The backside is a 4 white-blue with flash 3/3, double strike, prevent all damage that would be dealt to him, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Now, I would specifically be building with the front part in mind, because I think that part's the strongest bit. The backside, I view more as a finisher, if anything.
This one I do find to be very interesting. I'm going to be picking this up because I have a brewing idea for a deck with a lot of the creatures that say when a player draws their second card or you draw your second card, with a lot of the different synergies and kind of doubling those effects up if I can. I've got my eye on King T'Challa. Probably going to be a 99 for me, but absolutely could be the front man for that kind of deck. Of course, it's in the best color combination possible. Definitely a big fan. I am back on the clock here for my second pick. I think I might go bracket 4 as well. Honestly, since it's here and I do have an appreciation for the team that she was on, I'm just going to take the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. She's amazing. Very, very popular. Squirrel version of Krenko. If you can get it with Earthcraft, it is infinite squirrels and then just kind of trample over and kill everybody.
I've heard she's unbeatable.
She definitely is. And later on, you'll see why I have such an appreciation for this particular character. Kath, we are back to you.
Gonna keep the train moving on bracket 4 as well. For my bracket 4 pick, I'm gonna go with Okoye, Mighty and Adored. She is a 3/3 hero for 2 and a white-green. When she enters, you become the monarch. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you put a counter on a target creature, and when that creature attacks the monarch, you get double strike and trample. Super hot potential as a possible really strong Voltron pick. Monarch's always a fun, interesting thing. Being in white, you have good strength for assembling your pieces fast. You don't have to worry about giving yourself some keywords that you'd normally have to worry about. Trample and double strike are kind of hard to squeeze in if you want a bunch of other things. So you can just give her a bunch of protection, make her massive. She gives herself a counter, munch right over whoever hit you last. Very interesting pick still for a bracket 4.
Honestly, I could see it.
Your next round. Do you want to go with a bracket 3, 2, or 1?
We got a pattern going here. I'm going to break the cycle. Bracket 1, the Sentry, Golden Guardian.
Ooh, okay. What is the bracket 1 theme you're trying to convey there?
Everything's a nightmare. The Sentry is paranoid. No one understands why until you see exactly how many voids there are out in the wild.
Oh no. You're going to make the entire table stare into the void and you're just staring back.
Yep.
The caffeine rabbit that you are.
I stare into the void. The void stares back. It has kawaii eyes as it blinks at me. I'm scared. What makes it interesting is just like you flicker him, you give more people void. It's still legendary. Best of luck figuring out that little thing. They're indestructible. They're just going to keep attacking. They're probably going to try to punch you.
I am back on the clock myself. I'm going to take my bracket 2 right now. I'm fairly confident that my bracket 1 and my bracket 3 are not going to get taken. I'm going to grab the Mighty Thor Jane Foster. I am contractually obligated to have at least one Azorius commander in my draft. 3/3 with flying for 3 mana or 1 in Azorius. Whenever the Mighty Thor attacks, exile up to 1 target non-token artifact or creature, then return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Couple things here. 1, that thing that I'm targeting does not have to be mine. Exile a blocker, get it out of the way, put it back into play. If you have somebody who's doing a Voltron thing, maybe you exile their Voltron commander and all the equipment falls off. There's a lot of fun implications with this. And then whatever an equipment you control enters, draw a card. You can do standard blink things with this. Blink different things. You could have Amulet of Vigor in play to have everything come back untapped to take advantage of the mana that way. Blink a Living Weapon or a Job Select to keep making tokens. That's the kind of commander that I tend to gravitate towards, things with a lot of different options and branches you can work from.
I have my bracket 1 pick that I would want to do. This is actually going back to when I would go to the library when I was younger and look at the comic section that was in there. That's when I started to read the Runaways. My bracket 1 pick is Carolina Dean Runaway. 3 in a red for a 3/3 flying. At the beginning of your first main phase, add Wooburg. You can't spend this mana to cast spells from your hand. This is the one where I would just put every single Runaway that they made in the set and just go. I love that series. I would build very thematically around the story that I read, make sure that it held all of the muster for flavor, even if it's not going to be the strongest. That's where I'm going.
Carolina Dean, definitely an interesting ability. Could even look at doing some weird exile synergies. Some of the Runaways might have something to do with that. I haven't seen as many of the Runaways from the set itself. Definitely could be an exciting commander to have in that bracket 1 space.
And especially because you're also just naturally in red. Oh, hey, what's that? I bottled something? Cast. I believe then that it goes to me again. Should I go for the bracket 2 or bracket 3? I'm going to go with bracket 3. I'm going to be building bracket 3 Fantastic Car.
There it goes. There it goes again.
This is definitely going to be a interesting colorless storm list to just keep trying to sacrifice the Fantastic Car to keep building your board and then replaying it just so that you can keep going and going and going.
Kind of interesting design. Anyone who's seen the movies or cartoons or comics knows about the Fantastic Car splitting up into 4 different vehicles. So you can get a 14 power of flying and haste on the board at one time, and then you can reset it. Very, very strong commander. Obviously doing a lot of work in Legacy and other formats right now. I'm sure it'll get plenty of attention. The only thing holding it back right now, I think, is just being in the colorless space.
But at the same time, it's only non-creatures. That's a very wide margin that you have to go off of, instead of just being more pigeonholed into artifacts. Then I'm passing the torch off to Levi.
This was originally going to be my bracket 4. I've done a deck tech with this one before at bracket 3, and since both of you have taken your bracket 1s already, I'm very safe about mine coming back to me in the final round. I'm going to grab Iron Man, the Bleeding Edge. When I first came out, I liked it because it was very similar to a deck that I already have, which is the 6 Doctor. It is a 2 blue for a 3/5 flyer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. Do this only once each turn. There's plenty of flash enablers for artifacts out there in the space. You can start doubling up on even legendary artifacts. So you can do 2 Portal to Phyrexias and have everyone sacrifice 6 creatures. Or you could double up on God Pharaoh's statue and have everybody have to pay 4 extra mana for their stuff. Or even something simple as Gilded Lotus, and now I've got 6 mana of tapping out of my mana rocks. It's a lot of really disgusting stuff you can do. If you're going for extra spice with this, you can also play Mycosynth Lattice. Every spell you have is now an artifact, and then you can just start doubling up your removal or your card draw spells or anything that you want. At the time of recording this, it's only around 125 commander decks so far or so. A lot of people are sleeping on this just because it's kind of buried with all the other Iron Mans. It's a very cool commander, and it's got a lot of potential to do a lot of really interesting things. I was originally going to have it at bracket 4 because you can do the Mycosynth Lattice with Karn combos and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways to kind of lock everybody out. It has the potential to do a lot of like very Staxier lock type of things, but I can build it in a Thopters and Karnstruct tokens kind of a build and just kind of overwhelm the board with a bunch of robots.
Very fair.
Very fair.
Wait, hold on. Very fair.
Possibly. Very fair.
Mayhaps. Very fair.
In the sake of fairness, we have each had our round 4 selections. Kaf, you have your round 4, and then you'll have your round 5. Are we going with the bracket 2 or bracket 3 next?
We're going to go bracket 2 next. We're going to go Black Widow Double Agent. 3-drop 3/2 with Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains First Strike and Menace until end of turn. A bunch of attack alone synergy because nothing says, I'll figure it out by only ever swinging one creature. But we're not in the colors outside of some equipments to really get Trample. First Strike, Menace being kind of relied on, and then just any of it gets indestructible when it attacks alone, because that's a lot of what happens in the white-black space for the attack alone stuff. You get a bunch of interesting keywords, but none of them are going to be Trample for the most part. I like this guy. He was really cool. He's going to beat you up now. You block it, okay. Such is life.
Also, Black Widow's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting card. I guess I'll move on to my final pick, and I'm choosing the Vision. 4-drop 2/5 with flying and vigilance. And when you cast a non-creature spell, you pick one that hasn't been done. He gets double strike, he can get indestructible, and then he can draw a card. Really hammer a lot of those obnoxious power increased artifacts. He already gives himself all of the desirable keywords you could ever want. You just got to keep going and churning through, and there are plenty of equipment that just give power and draw you cards. Keep churning it and just keep turning him sideways. He'll be a monster.
If you're a fan of the Vision or you enjoyed the show WandaVision, Vision, Scarlet Witch, you're eating good this set.
The Vision was one of the first cards from this set that actually impressed me. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's really interesting, actually. I enjoy this 4-cost colorless commander. I didn't think I would find anything like that in this set, but he's cool.
He is very cool. I definitely like it. And even having a way to consistently get card advantage in that set, because outside of like the One Ring, there isn't a lot of consistent card advantage engines that are efficient in colorless deck. Having that as an option in your command zone is really, really solid. Final pick here. This is a card, and honestly, it could be one of several cards because they all fit in this particular set, but I'm going to pick the leader of this faction because similar to Joe, there is a superhero team that is near and dear to my heart, but the difference between that is this team is notorious for sucking. This is the Great Lakes Avengers, which is a superhero team based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that is notoriously bad. They originally had Squirrel Girl on their roster, but she ended up kicking herself out of the group because they were relying so heavily on her like it was LeBron James on the Cavs. My option would be Mr. Immortal, a 1 and a green with an ability that says for 2 and a green, you can return this card from your graveyard or from exile to the battlefield tapped. They didn't want to make it a food chain commander, so they made it so it was an activated ability. It's not cast. It is still a very interesting build. It is something that you can work around. You can have as a consistent chump blocker while you get some of the other legends out, which was Doorman, Flatman, Big Bertha, and even you could add Tippy Toe and Unbeatable Squirrel Girl in the deck if you wanted to as well. But we're doing a Great Lakes Avengers theme. Losing is the win condition. It's just there to be bad with a lot of really interesting powers and activated abilities that do not work well together. By playing it and being bad, it is in and of itself a cosplay of the Great Lakes Avengers.
The first time that I had seen the Great Lakes Avengers was in a Deadpool comic. Whoo boy, that was definitely a rip-roaring time.
I got to give a shout out to the wonderful state of Wisconsin with my Great Lakes Avengers. We have a bracket 2 selection for Joe, and then we are wrapping this up.
This is, in fact, the end-all, be-all. The thing that most people still tend to go towards other than bracket 3. And I'm going with one that is obviously near and dear to my heart because the ability matches me so well. I'm going with Taskmaster, Mercenary Mimic, 2 blue, black, 3/5, photographic reflexes. At the beginning of your first main phase until your next turn, Taskmaster becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature on the battlefield or creature card in a graveyard. Except their name is Taskmaster, Mercenary Mimic, and they're a legendary human mercenary villain creature.
Very interesting card that I actually am probably adding to a deck I'm working on right now.
We're getting a lot of theft and copy stuff as of late. Some of it is just creating something temporarily, and some of it is avoiding the legend rule. I'm not a huge fan of avoiding the legend rule as a generic thing to staple on copies, because a lot of these legendary creatures are legendary for a reason, albeit we're getting away from that a little bit. But there are still some stuff that you probably don't need 2 incredible hooks on the field to win. Maybe don't let people do that. You could see doing a mill strategy or trying to go with whatever the best thing on everyone's board is. There's a lot of different ways you can go with it. It's cool.
Which is exactly how I love to play. Such a versatile card, and especially because when it becomes that copy, unlike the Superior Spider-Man, when it entered, it still was a 4/4. This copies the power and toughness. You get anything that's remotely good in a graveyard or on the field, and you're flying with it. This is why I think it's a perfect bracket 2 commander, because it still conforms with the table.
I mean, you can even scale it up. You could use Buried Alive and Entomb and stuff to put something really disgusting in your own graveyard without even the intention of bringing it out.
Now, I will say, I did have to say what that honorable mention of difficult to build for, and that is Super Adaptoid. If you haven't seen that one, it's a 2-drop artifact creature, colorless, star 2. His power is equal to the number of legendary creatures you control. Whenever he enters or attacks, you choose another target creature. If that creature has haste and Super Adaptoid doesn't, you put a haste counter on him. You do the same for flying, first strike, double strike, death touch, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance.
Having it at colorless is a little awkward too, because you have to run a lot of legendary creatures. I think it's a good card in the 99 and stuff.
But I would want it as the main singer, because that's really interesting. Also, it has in fact gotten better, because it just says another target creature. It does not have to be yours.
Putting that in Joda would be very interesting too. A lot of people are going to hate me for that.
No people would hate you for putting that in Joda.
I might have to pick one up and put it in Joda. Or should I say SpongeBob SquarePants?
Any honorable mentions for y'all?
Honestly, honorable mentions. Storm, Queen of Wakanda. This is a 5-drop, 4/5 with flying. When she attacks until end of turn, another target attacking creature gets flying and power equal to her power. When a creature with flying attacks you, she does damage equal to her power to that creature. Just give everybody flying and say, best of luck hitting me, nerd, and make her really, really strong.
I've got a few that I'm really interested in. One, I really like Willie Lumpkin, Postman, essentially the Stan Lee cameo in this set. 1/3 can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage to opponent, you may draw a card. That player may draw a card. If they do, that player can attack you or purpose you control during their next turn. You can do kind of a Voltron thing with this if you wanted to, or politics. It puts a negotiation tool on the table, but it just happens. It's a trigger. I really like the Kingpin of Crime, the 1/5 with extort. And then when you get attacked, you pay 2 life. Your creatures with bigger toughness and power attack with the toughness. Ends up attacking for 5. It can be a very aggressive, kind of extorty, toughness matters kind of deck. I can see a lot of fun things doing with that. Also intrigued with Scientist Supreme with Aim. Pay 2 life, copy target activate or trigger ability you control from an artifact source. Choose 2 targets for the copy, and you activate it only once each turn and during your turn.
You got 3 honorable mentions, so I might as well have added some more, because by God, did I have some more.
Go for it.
Truthfully, I was definitely still interested in Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. That card is very fun, and when I read that text, I was like, oh, that goes in Orvar, because it's just a draw engine on its own. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. Oh, hi. What's our Orvar trying to do? Do the thing.
An important thing to know is you have the no maximum hand size. The second part of that, the power equal to the number of cards in your hand. That could be some big hits on some people if they're not ready for it.
And in the same strain, Fin Fang Foom.
Yeah.
A 2 and 2 red, 3/5 flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets an artifact or land, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. You put 2 +1/+1 counters on Fin Fang Foom.
That's some good stuff right there.
You can do some combat tricks or a lot of different things with that. It's almost interesting putting it in a feather deck.
I could see that, but I also know that Calf and I will be much different on how we build that deck, because I know Calf is just going to go straight land destruction.
You know me too well, you smarty pants, you.
What? We've been playing since what? 2020 is when we all met?
You can hit up that one guy that has 100,000 copies of Stone Rain.
Or that guy who has 200 copies of the Muncha Crab.
I would find it interesting if I could do more of the copy shenanigans in red, but I need to probably turn the land into creatures first. If they are turned into creatures and you copy them with the red spell, they turn back into normal lands.
I hadn't thought about that. I like that.
A different way to ritual. Did Calf have any other honorable mentions?
I don't think I did.
Do we have any closing thoughts for the show?
While there was a whole bunch of commanders in the Marvel set, and we decided to distill it down to the few that we really, really like, the designs are still very fun and fantastic, especially the Fantastic Car.
Looking at the set itself, we went over a lot of different legendary creatures that we like today. There's still plenty more that are really cool. There's also some that they might pick up at a later point, but there's just so many for this set. I guarantee you, if you look at the sets and the commanders that are coming up, you'll find something that you like at any level. There's still some other CDH viable stuff out there. Even the 1-mana Nick Fury is probably going to see some play in CDH because you have access to all 5 colors in a cheap commander. It's got some legs to it. Look out and see if there's anything that you like. There's a lot of different stuff. Go out there and see what speaks to you. If nothing does, we'll have another set coming out in like a month. It'll be okay.
Set fatigue is real.
As always, I've been Levi.
I've been Calf.
And I've been Joe.
And this is the Thought Vessel. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on when you are listening in. Goodbye.
Take care.
They're my little runaways. And I'm gonna build that deck.
The Great Lakes Avengers.
You don't have enough vision, I guess.
Shout out to Kirby Crackle.